All right, folks, today we're talking about a historical icon, a woman who overcame impossible odds, a figure so legendary that questioning anything about her is basically a crime. That's right, Helen freaking Keller, the blind and deaf woman who wrote books, gave speeches, had strong political opinions, and oh yeah, allegedly flew a plane. But here's the thing. Does any of this actually make sense? Because when you really start digging, this whole thing starts looking like one giant PR stunt. So buckle up, because today we're counting down 10 reasons Helen Keller was a total con job. Let's climb the ladder. Number 10, she was a deaf-blind toddler who somehow learned language? Okay, let's start with the basics. Helen Keller lost all sight and hearing at 19 months old. That means she had barely started learning words before her world went completely silent and dark. Then along comes her teacher, Sullivan, who just starts spelling words into her hand, and boom, language unlocked. Challenge to you, try teaching a grown blindfolded adult a new language by just tracing letters on their palm and see how far you get. Number 9. She didn't just learn language, she became a genius. Not only did Helen learn language, but she mastered 3 languages, wrote books, gave speeches, and even had deep political opinions. Yeah, she evidently learned French, German, and Latin. Latin, not pig Latin, Latin. I'm sure that was easy. Most people struggle to learn basic Spanish on Duolingo, but sure, she's out there debating world affairs in French. Makes total sense. Better give her a stamp. Number 8. She wrote 14 books without ever seeing a word.
Dad?
Yeah?
Here's all the books on Helen Keller I could find on Amazon.
I told you to write a list of the books Helen Keller wrote on Amazon.
No, I'm pretty sure you told me to buy them.
Fine, I'll start the return. No. You didn't hurt yourself, did you?
No.
Okay, good. So anyways, 14 books. That's more than most authors with full senses ever manage. Yet somehow Helen, who never saw letters, never heard a word spoken after the age of 19 months, was dropping literary masterpieces that you can still buy today. At this point, I gotta ask, did Helen even know what a book really was? Think about it. Couldn't see, couldn't hear, so they just put this object in her hands, and she knew what it was, and that she could write one. Not one, how about 14? That's a little sus, you have to admit. Number 7, talked without ever hearing a human voice. Here's where it gets really weird. Helen Keller didn't just write books. She gave speeches, actual verbal speeches, to crowds without ever hearing how words sound. I mean, she didn't hear anything since she was 19 months. And here's the kicker. She had a British accent. WTF? She was born in West Tuscumbia, Alabama. I don't know about you, but I've never heard someone from Alabama say, "Hello, mate." Even people who are born partially deaf struggle with speech. But Helen, who was completely deaf and blind, just casually developed perfect enunciation. Right. And the explanations we get on why this isn't unusual just don't hold water. But I do believe that an English accent makes you sound smarter. So good choice, Helen. Number 6, she had political opinions about things she couldn't experience. So let me get this straight. Helen Keller wasn't just literate, she was political. She supported socialism, women's rights, and labor unions. But how was she forming these opinions? Imagine you live on an island in the Pacific, your whole life alone. Would you have political opinions? She had no way to watch the news, hear debates, or read about whatever. Everything she knew had to be filtered through someone else. There's no chance these were her original thoughts. I'm smelling a puppet. No, wait, I'm smelling an actual puppet. Hold on a second. I don't know about this. Kind of weird. Number 5, she allegedly flew a plane. This is where it really goes off the rails. I mean, into the ditch crazy. In 1946, Helen Keller allegedly flew a freaking plane. I barely trust people with perfect vision to drive my car. And you're telling me a deaf blind woman was up in the clouds like Top Gun? Was her nickname Maverick? It was with the now defunct Pan American Airlines, so you don't have to cross them off your Expedia carrier list. Defenders of the Keller story say she only flew straight and the captain was right there. So in essence, they are confirming this was a PR stunt, which could lead one to think that the whole Keller thing was all a PR stunt. Number 4, she read lips with her fingers. So the narrative goes that Keller supposedly could read lips by touching people's mouths while they spoke. Try this experiment. Close your eyes, plug your ears, and touch someone's lips while they talk. Can you tell me what they were saying? I didn't think so. Yet Helen was somehow fluent in multiple languages, including Latin. Using this technique? Fishier and fishier. Number 3, there's no video proof of her doing any of this alone. For someone so famous, there's very little unedited footage of Helen actually communicating without extensive help. Almost every clip shows her with her teacher, Anne Sullivan, guiding her hand. Did she really know what was happening, or was Anne feeding her information? Could Helen actually hear? If you had a miracle human able to do all these things, wouldn't you make a video archive for posterity? I know I would. While we can never know for sure, the lack of footage doesn't help the case. Number 2, her teacher was known for making things up. Anne Sullivan was the only person who could communicate with Helen for years, always through her hands. Thought experiment. If someone told you they had a dog that could communicate with them by holding their paw, would you believe them?
What's that, Cal? Sirloin steak for dinner? Alright, you got it. Oh, and you want pepperoni treats for dessert? I think we can do that. Wait, what? You also want to watch more Animal Planet? Okay, sounds good.
And guess what? Anne had a history of exaggerating Helen's abilities. So the story is that Anne was known to tell some whoppers. She wasn't exactly George Washington in the honesty department. And people who met Helen often said she seemed confused or didn't respond unless Anne was there. There were also some who accused Anne of faking Helen's intelligence. Anne just isn't exactly a rock-solid witness. Number 1, she's the perfect inspirational story. But is that all it was? Let's be real. The story of a deaf-blind mute girl overcoming all odds is perfect Hollywood material. Helen Keller became a brand, a symbol of triumph, a female icon of the highest order. But was she actually writing books, flying planes, and debating politics? Or was she just the face of an inspiring narrative controlled by the people around her? I believe Occam's razor gives us the answer. So there you have it, the top 10 reasons Keller may have been a whole lot of showbiz. Was Helen Keller the real deal, or history's greatest PR stunt? What do you think? Let us know in the comments before this video mysteriously disappears. And if we earned it, subscribe and hit that like button. Until next time, keep climbing. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.